Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 9th June 2018. The first issue news is an editorial regarding the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, which has been made mandatory by the Supreme Court for candidates seeking admission for medical colleges. The court ruling was aimed at standardizing medical education, but the poor performance of the students from states like Tamil Nadu has demonstrated that the state is still far from being ready for the NEET examination. Further, in states like Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, very low proportions, around 40% of those candidates who took the test have qualified for the admission, but very few among them are likely to get admission into a government medical college, and many of them may not be able to afford the high fees charged in private medical institutions. Therefore, it raises the question whether the implementation of the NEET exam has really eliminated the commercialization of education and whether the admission policy is sufficiently inclusive in a large and diverse country like ours. Further, lavish advertisements as well as interviews with the toppers make it quite obvious to everyone that only those who can afford expensive coaching by paying exorbitant fees have a distinct advantage in the system, thereby highlighting the socio-economic asymmetry in the medical admission process. This is particularly highlighted when at least two young women who had enough marks from their higher secondary education to gain admission into a medical college but had failed to clear NEET examination had committed suicide in Tamil Nadu, which had its own admission system prior to the implementation of the NEET. Therefore, it should be noted that while it is important to maintain uniform standards of healthcare, state governments should take necessary steps to upgrade academic standards and prepare their students better to ensure that a steady inflow of medical manpower is drawn from all sections of the society. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding a new study conducted by a group of researchers from the Duke University of United States who found that many parts of Rajasthan have high uranium levels in their groundwater. They have concluded that although the main source of uranium contamination was natural, but the human factors such as groundwater table decline and nitrate pollution are worsening the problem. This is because overpumping of groundwater causes the decline in water levels, thereby inducing oxidation conditions which enhance uranium enrichment in shallow groundwater. Despite the World Health Organization setting a safety standard of 30 micrograms of uranium per liter, uranium is not yet included in the list of contaminants monitored under the Bureau of Indian Standards Drinking Water Specifications. The next issue news is regarding the identification of more than 2.25 lakh shell firms by a task force set up by the Union government. A shell company is defined as a firm which has been set up with the main intention of avoiding taxes or can be even set up for illegal activities. However, not all shell companies are illegal and it remains to be seen what action the government takes on these companies in the coming days. Till then, let's look into the next issue, which is an editorial regarding the negative impacts of trade wars. As we know, the US President had announced the imposition of 25% tax on steel and 10% tax on aluminium imports from the European Union, Mexico, and Canada. As a retaliatory measure, the European Commission has announced that it would impose tariffs as high as 25% on the imports of American goods ranging from motorbikes to jeans to even daily commodities like peanut butter. The underlying truth is nobody actually wins in such a destructive trade war because even though the workers in America's manufacturing sector have played a key role in Mr. Trump's electoral success and the recent imposition of tariffs is being seen as the protection of their interests, it will ultimately hurt everyone because drop in global trade will eventually result in a slower global economic growth, thereby increasing the burden of taxes on everyone. As the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Mr. Raghuram Rajan has aptly pointed out, the ongoing trade war was indeed a lose-lose situation for all the parties, and it is high time that countries worldwide come together to promote the cause of free trade. These developments have indeed been counterproductive for India as well, and the two countries are set to discuss a range of issues like the imposition of tariffs on steel and aluminium products, restrictions on H-1B visas, cancellation of spouse visas, as well as WTO disputes over Indian barriers on poultry and pork, and the price caps on medical devices. This is a very important issue and we'll further look into it in the days to come. The final issue in news today is regarding the concerns raised by the US government and the efforts made by it to discourage India from buying the large defense systems from Russia, that is, the S400 Triumph air defense systems, which could attract sanctions from the US government under the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. I have already discussed this issue in detail and the stance taken by Indian government to resist US pressure to maintain its relations with Russia. And I request those who have missed it to go back and watch the same. With that, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.